Jhana means to meditate. It does not refer to meditation in general, but rather to specific stages of samadhi known as the 4 jhanas. Jhana is defined in the Pāli texts by a standard set of stock phrases, the jhana definition, and is accompanied by a set of qualities known as the 5 jhana factors. Each of the jhanas comprises some combination of the jhana factors. There is a lot of disagreement and confusion about how jhana is taught, understood, practiced, how it's experienced. The reason for this is that the definition and the meaning of the jhana factors is not clear. There's a range of understandings. We don't really know the original intended meaning. And there is a wide range of experiences that match the verbal description, but are experientially quite different. So rather than arguing or thinking that there is a particular right or wrong jhana, we understand that there's a wide range of meditative states that can legitimately be called jhana as long as they match the words in the definition. And so it opens us up to finding how we are each drawn to practice, the way that it naturally unfolds for each of us and the way we choose to aim the practice. I'll go through the jhana definition and the jhana factors, and then I'll offer my own definition for jhana. Let me give the jhana definition using the Pāli terms, and then we'll explain what each means. It's important to understand the Pāli because, as you'll see, there's a range of translations and understandings for each of the terms. The jhana factors are Vitakka, Vicara, Piti, Sukha, and Ekaggata. The first two, Vitakka and Vicara, should always be used together. They're a pair. And there are 2 main ways in which Vitakka and Vicara are understood. One way is the act of directing your attention to your meditation object and keeping it there. So to use the breath, for example, we aim the attention, or you could say connect, and we sustain with the breath. There's another understanding for Vitakka and Vicara, which is much broader. It includes the act of connecting and sustaining the attention, but it also entails thinking, reflecting, pondering, examining. It's the act of discernment, of investigation. And so there can be some verbal thinking process going on. You can already see that there's, given this range of understandings for Vitakka and Vicara, some people may teach a jhana in which there is no verbal process, no thinking. Others say it does include that. The next jhana factor is Piti. Piti is translated variously as bliss, rapture, joy, pleasure, and happiness. You can already see that there's a range of understandings and experiences that match that term Piti. And in fact, Piti does manifest very differently for different people. For some people, it's quite powerful and intense. It can feel like energy's moving in the body. It can be very strong and blissful. It can be more light. It can not necessarily like energy's moving, but just a feeling in the body of pleasantness or bliss. It can be more of a mental feeling. It's not so clear where it's located. And it can just be a feeling of happiness or joy. It can be, so you can see, it can be strong or it can be more light. The next factor, Sukha, is similar to Piti, and the translations of Sukha overlap different understandings and translations for Piti. Sukha is also translated variously as happiness, pleasure, joy. There's a wide range again of how people understood and experienced Sukha. The 5th jhana factor, Ekaggata, refers to what we've already discussed: one-pointedness, also translated as unification of mind and singleness of mind. Ekaggata is the unmoving, steady stillness and calm. As we've discussed, there's a range of ways in which ekaggata can manifest on its own and in which we can direct the attention to develop. The progressive stages of jhana are not stages of gaining. They are actually stages of letting go and simplifying as various jhana factors drop away as we move through the various stages. Jhana can be taught as 4 distinct, discrete stages of samadhi. It is also experienced as a smooth continuum in which each of the 4 jhanas can be thought of as signposts or markers along the way. And so it's different for each of us. My own definition of jhana has 3 qualities. The first is the ekaggata. That's the stillness or the steadiness of mind. As you continue to deepen in your meditation, you will see that your mind is more steady and tends to wander less and less. And as samadhi strengthens, the mind gets to a place where it can hardly wander at all, or if it does start to go off, it does not go very far or very deep. That process culminates in an ekaggata in which the mind cannot move. It is steady and present and clear. It will never wander off. This is also happening on its own. That's the second of my jhana qualities. So the mind is steady and unmoving, and you aren't doing anything to make it happen. In a sense, it's doing it to you. So you just are there with it as it sustains itself. The third quality is the heightened awareness or heightened clarity or perception. Sometimes it feels like the mind has become very narrow focused, but you can see it's almost like an electron microscope. Your perception is so finely attuned. It can also have the opposite feeling. It can feel very broad and open, kind of like a space telescope that can see in ways that are very vast and expansive. So for me, any experience that has these 3 aspects, the steady, unmoving ekaggata, the self-sustaining aspect, and the heightened perception, I call jhana.